Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. So far, we've got everybody here but Dave. He'll probably show up. Let's stand and say the pledge of allegiance, shall we? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Are there any changes to the agenda? None? Wow. This gets easier all the time. All right, we'll move on to approval of the agenda then. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Thanks, Angie. Thanks, Dan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Was there any public input tonight? Okay. Recognition and good things happening. We'd like to congratulate the winter artists and athletes on an outstanding season. We are very proud of their accomplishments. Moving on to reports. Student representative report.
Basketball ended football with girls basketball had their banquet on Sunday and boys basketball has theirs Thursday. Yesterday, March 10th, we hosted the small group music contest. Softball, baseball conditioning, and track started yesterday. Baseball practice and golf start March 17th. Prom tip night fundraiser at Sweets Hotels tomorrow, March 12th from 5 to 8. And prom is April 26th. NHS members volunteered at the blood drive last week and signed up for shifts at the upcoming scholarship pancake breakfast. Juniors are taking the ASVAB March 19th and the ACT in April.
Okay. A lot going on. How many schools were here yesterday?
Close to 10.
I was gonna say 12.
10, there's 10 to 12. I think there was supposed to be 12.
Yeah.
But I want to say Alton and Glenville were on spring break.
Oh, maybe that's right. Maybe that's right.
So I think that's why we didn't have them all.
I think you're
Okay,
right.
okay. It sure looks nice around here though. You guys did a great job. No staff report, or are we?
No. Unless you want to, Kathy.
Kathy, we're not. Anything at all?
Staff is here.
There you go. Principals report. Aaron?
Yeah, I don't have a handout for you guys tonight really because a lot of it right now we're working on budget, we're working on which will move into master schedule, which will move into registration, which will move into all next year's everything. So you'll be getting plenty of information probably the next couple months on what's been going on lately, but we do have end of third quarter already at the end of this month.
27.
So that's wrapping up. So yeah, you get a lot more information of what's been going on this spring, next 2 months when kind of all the things that I'm working on. I will bring up, I talked to Jen a little bit about you may have heard a rumor about our sports programs, actually football moving up to 11-man next year because of enrollment. We are 5 or 6 students over the allotted number. There is an appeal process which we did complete. Trevor actually has he gets to present for 3 minutes tomorrow to committee. And then we will know between tomorrow and next Wednesday what the future of our football program holds, if it's moved up to 11-man or if we get to stay down at 9-man. So a little bit going on there, but there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of those 1A schools are all moving up to 2, and there's actually some 1A teams moving down to 9-man. So there are, in all my years, I've never seen as much movement as.
Did we suggest today like 80 schools could be impacted?
Yeah, I think.
Something
I was
like
looking
that?
at the numbers today.
And that's just
There's
a
a
guess,
lot.
looking at the list.
Yeah, so,
And
but
maybe
there is-
petitioning.
Yeah, there's a lot of things tomorrow, so they're gonna try to do it all like right now,
So
so.
I thought that they had a meeting about it today, but that's maybe next Tuesday?
It's actually Friday.
No, so today they had the meeting,
Today
they
is
did
the
have the
meeting.
meeting to kind of get everything, I think, set up, but tomorrow, the schools get they're allotted 3 minutes to present to this committee. And then, so we've sent in the petition to stay down and why we think we should stay down. Then you get to present, and then they'll make the final decision, and they said it could take up till next Wednesday to make those decisions.
So they didn't make a decision today?
No, they had their
Funny, 'cause
regular
there's
meeting.
an executive
today.
committee Friday, and it's on the agenda, I think.
So, we will know soon, so then we can plan accordingly. And then there'll be a lot of things we have to talk about moving forward anyway, so. So just kind of, yes, it's out
I'm
there.
not sure, but I think 1992 would have been the last year we played 11-man football.
It was 93 was the first year of.
So-
Cause I was a
9-man.
junior.
So
Yeah.
there's just some discrepancy of, they've changed it to where they use 9 through 12 numbers, and then we used to use a late 8 through 11 and vice versa, and now so there's been a little bit of changing of what numbers they use, so.
Is there a certain number you have to be within to appeal? Is it like, I can't imagine you can be way over and say, oh, I still.
No, I wanna say, I'm not 100% sure, but so 150 is the cutoff for 9-man. I wanna say, if you're under 165,
Okay.
That's what I was thinking, it was
you could.
15.
15?
That's what
Yeah,
I
there's
thought. but-
something like that, so,
But
I
there
was
was
just
a
curious.
district that was over last year, that number,
Yes.
and was bumped down.
yes.
So it is kind of a
Two.
floating number.
Right?
Yes, so we will find out, but yes, that is true. We are, as of today, we are 11-man, hoping to stay down in 9-man.
One of the other semifinal teams was moved up too.
Most of the up north ones that were in state got moved up.
Yeah.
Um,
What's the one that got?
Mount Iron Beal got moved
Yeah.
up, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
So a lot of those red
Nevis
ones,
was,
Nevis got moved up,
State
so
champion
most
last
of the
year.
9-mans that have been consistently in the north, I think just about all of them got moved up.
Okay.
I don't know if that works to our advantage or not.
So, yeah, so, but if you looked at the 1A, they're down to about one team left in section 1A, 11-man, so they'll get moved up to 2. And actually, some are coming down. They're going 2 or down 9-man, so.
Did I really read Fillmore Central's numbers could put them down?
I've heard that they've had, their numbers are close, but I don't think they are. I think they're the one constant that would be the one and only 1A team that would stay, otherwise everybody else is.
Moved around. Huh.
So there's gonna be a lot of interesting decisions made in the next.
In the next
Couple
week.
years.
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's, like I said, I'll have much more information for, like, especially the new people next couple of months with how registration works, master scheduling, budgeting, staffing, all that kind of stuff coming up. So we're just touching the tip of the iceberg of next year
Craziness.
already. So
Okay.
I'll keep you posted.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Jen, you got a superintendent's report?
I do. I want to start off with a really amazing report. So every year, if not multiple times a year, the Minnesota Department of Health and Environmental Health comes into our school district and checks out our kitchen or our cafeteria. And I am so pleased to report that Chris Hansen, our lead lunch lady, and her gals got an exceptional grade, an A+. There was only, I think, one thing that they didn't like, and it was like something was plugged in wrong. So they have to dig you some way. That's what we decided. They gotta dig me on something.
something.
Yes.
But I have to tell you, it's an amazing report. I am so proud of them. I told them I'd talk about them publicly. Of course, they didn't like that, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I'm so proud of them. They have really turned, I was given a mission one of my first years here to turn around our food service department. And I think we got quality people in there that have really done such an exceptional job, and they listen to directives, they go on staff development opportunities, they read up on what they can do, extremely creative, and it's showing. It's showing. The proof is in the pudding. Our auditing is exceptional. So hats off to them. If you see them, please pat them on the back. They're doing a great job. Another fun note, I always love sharing this, and I always tell Tina often, she's our one of our elementary school teachers. I tell her, don't ever tell Erin this. Let me be the one to present. So I hope she didn't tell you and you're just being nice to me. But she brought her eggs in, so there will be chickens hatched again in the elementary school, and they're so cute. You can see it on YouTube and watch them hatch. And it's pretty cute, but the whole elementary school just kind of goes crazy when these darn chicks come about. So we're hoping They're not gonna hatch over break, but it's likely they're going to. That's what we're hearing, hence the YouTube channel, so take a peek at that. But she does such a great job with things like that, and it's a huge curriculum, it's not just hatching chicks, it's tons of stuff with that, so she does a really good job. Another huge, very exceptional shout out to the Fillmore County and Mower County emergency mitigation planning teams. I sat on both of those virtual meetings, and they were on Friday, or one was a Friday, one was a Thursday. And they were about 2-3 hours long, and they did a great job preparing us if anything should happen where, you know, kind of outside of our control as a school district or other institutions. But we're gonna be doing this more than once a year, probably a couple times a year, just to keep refreshing how important it is to not only work together, but be pre-planning rather than not planning at all. So it's been really great. I have to, of course, mention this. You guys are being bombarded, and I apologize, with all my emails related to St. Paul and Congress. But this is the time of year that happens, so you'll hear it from me every spring. Saturday, I sent you an email related to kind of budget forecasting. So I sat in on the budget forecast kind of predictions, and I did attach that to that email, and I'll be sending it off to staff at some point too. And just kind of some of my thoughts I wanted on paper based off the presentation. And I'm working on an email I'll be sending to you probably on Friday, but I reached out to superintendents around the local region of what they're planning to do and kind of building a conservative budget, because we don't really know what's going to happen federally or statewide. And it's really interesting to see where people are cutting or where people maybe aren't hiring anymore or how they're adjusting their budget. So I'll get you that just so you have it. It'll be confidential because it is other school districts and maybe they haven't talked to their board yet. I don't know, but I'll get you that info. But yeah, I will keep you updated on what I know and what I'm learning from the superintendent groups, the MDE groups, and every other group I sit in every week or a couple times a week. But we're doing well. Here locally, we're doing well. As I talked about tonight, we had our World's Best Workforce meeting, and we talked about budgeting. And, you know, for example, what we like to do if we feel we might go over budget in the next year or two, if somebody retires, we might not replace that person. So not necessarily a cut, but more of a, hey, we just don't have that position anymore. And But we also want to make sure, like I said at last month's meeting, we want to make sure though that we are good stewards of our community's dollars, good patrons of the dollar. So we're not going to just be the employment capital of Leroy either. We're going to make sure when we're employing people, for example, teachers, they're teaching to the standards, they're here every day, they have a full load of students, they're not just teaching 2 or 3 in a class. They're teaching 10 or 12 students at least in a classroom. So we're adjusting, and that's what we do, and that's what we need to do every year. So we're not at the point of, you know, cutting hundreds of thousands of dollars out of our budget, and I'm not predicting that anyway. It all depends on this spring on what's coming down from St. Paul and the states. But again, I'll keep you posted. And now that we are in budget season, we will be presenting even more stuff to you. And our business manager will be here. I mean, you'll start seeing more and more from us when it comes to money, so you're well aware of what's going on. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or anything for Jen? Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. We need to approve the minutes from the February 18th meeting. Are there any questions on those or corrections or additions to those? Okay, treasurer's reports, any questions or anything on that? Okay, need to approve a fundraiser, tip night for prom, that's tomorrow night already. So be sure you go out to eat at Sweets tomorrow night. Got one donation from the Drama Club. $237 from One Act Plate, the public show performance. And there's no personnel items this month. So, if there are no questions, Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Kyle. Is there a second?
I second.
Thanks, Jess. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So some discussion and action items. There's no policy to deal with this month. We had like a blizzard almost a few days ago, so policy committee couldn't meet. So we need the second reading of and the final reading of our school district calendar for this next year.
And as noted, there has been no changes since the first reading.
Okay,
What you see is what you get.
okay,
And again, though, I do need to disclaim this though, that if something should come up, we do make sure our parents know that, you know, a date change or something happens. For example, our music contest Monday, we did notify early and we did legally change the calendar with MDE, so we
subject
do
to
that.
change.
Yep.
Okay, any questions on the calendar or anything? If not, is there a motion to approve the final reading of the 25-26 school district calendar?
So move.
Thanks, Angie. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you very much. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. The next would be a discussion of a resolution that we need to pass. Jen, why don't you
Yep.
fill us in on things there, and then we'll read that resolution and vote on it.
Perfect, yes. So you may recall last month, we had a lengthy discussion about you guys formally allowing administration to make proposals in potential cuts. What this is basically a resolution to reduce a teacher to where she was when she was hired. And per state statute, at one point, she was above a 0.6 FTE during her tenure here. So once that happens, you have to go formally through a resolution to do a ULA or unrequested leave of absence. That's also in not only state statute, but it's also in our contract here for teachers. And the reason being, there's two reasons. One is that she is less senior in the FIED department, and that's where her licensure area is. We do have a senior teacher to her. So that senior teacher currently holds a lot of our special education classes, those students who are in need of adaptive physical education. And so those numbers are lower, so we can condense those classes, still allowing that teacher though to be full-time. The one that we're not talking about tonight. She gets to be full-time because she is senior. So that leaves this one with less FTE. And also, I want to be very transparent with our community. As I said earlier, we are not the employment capital of LeRoy. If there are not classes for this particular teacher to hold, we are not going to financially stabilize them personally. That's not our job to do that. So financially, it would impact us if we just randomly selected a class to give her. We just don't do that. That would be uncalled for, it would be unethical.
Be out of her licensure.
Out of her licensure, yeah, anything like that. So if need be, if we have to do that, when fall hits, let's say we get 30 kids that come in, and we need her, yes, she would be welcome back to be a full-time teacher. Absolutely. We want to protect her in that way too. So that's what this is about.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and read this resolution as it's in our agenda. Let it be resolved that it is proposed that Corey Ronenberg, a continuing contract tenured teacher of this district, be placed on unrequested leave of absence without pay or fringe benefits at the end of the 24-25 school year, effective July 1st, 2025. Corey Ronenberg will be a 0.6 FTE teacher for school year 2025-26. Said action is taken in accordance with the district master agreement and pursuant to Minnesota statute 122A.40 subdivision 10.1 upon the grounds described in said statute and which are specifically as follows: lack of pupils, see seniority list, special education students, and financial limitations. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on what we're doing at all?
We did do this last year as well.
So, if there are no questions, would there be a motion to adopt this resolution as read?
So move.
Thank you, Kyle. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Angie. I assume this would be a roll call vote?
Yes, please.
Angie?
Yes.
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 Motion carried. Okay. Are there any school board committee reports? I don't have anything.
I'll just make a plug for our scholarship breakfast is on March 23rd.
2 weeks. Okay. Anything else? Okay. If not, it must have been a policy committee meeting today.
It was not, we canceled.
Cancel that one too?
Yeah,
You guys are on a roll.
that storm kind of threw everything out of whack.
March 28th is staff development day, so there's no school. April 8th then will be district policy committee meeting. April 15th is the next school board meeting at 6 p.m. Is that gonna work with everybody's schedule, by the way? Okay.
Tax day.
Ooh, I'll be in depression. April 18th to 21st is no school for spring break. May 13th is district policy committee meeting again at 3:10. May 20th is the May school board meeting at 6. And then graduation will be on May 23rd. So, this doesn't seem possible that we're coming to the end of the year already.
No.
All right, is there anything else anybody would like to talk about? If not, a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thanks, Dan. Is there a second?
A second.
Thanks, Jess. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
6:22.